Gets earthquakes, gets hit. Out comes the army on the nuke!
What goes on here with the silence?
The questionable decision making gets help from the teammates.
Yeah, he might go down, but he might be paying for that. As he got a little bit of confidence overstayed his welcome. Body Hunter's going to be absolutely assaulted by all that is huge. But three people on the run over are suffering from DOT.
Right, off the jump pad rotation, think he's gonna fall for it and immediately gets collapsed on it. This is not good, that's a double kill. Now stays in a very bad situation. He actually managed to fight the total to save his life that we've talked about in the pregame. He's in such a bad situation right now, and he's just taking so much damage. He might be able to make a double here. He actually does.
Oh my god,
and he finds it, and now he's
going now. He's getting taken out. Island knows his lunges.
What? No way.
Oh
my god, you actually got that.
What an amazing bait. Pat, what is that?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Awesomenauts Rumble Scrim Show. My name is Mr. Pillow, and we are on episode 9, and it is going to be an awesome day. And if your day isn't awesome, it's about to become awesome. Joining with me today is Pyro Cheese. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing alright. I'm just hanging out here, ready to see some nice scrims, and ready to cast it, and it should be a good time.
Indeed, I'm pretty hyped myself. Just before we get into everything, last Friday we made an announcement. We are hosting a tournament this Sunday called Awesomenauts Rumble Gathers. Gathers is a 3v3, pretty casual event. The idea here is that there's kind of not much going on in Awesomenauts until 4.0 hits and all the big tournaments in the summer occur. So I wanted to get something going to just kind of keep everyone entertained. So here's Gathers. It's gonna sign-ups in this Friday. So you have like 24 hours and 8 hours, so 32 hours to still sign up. And the tournament itself is just it's a single elimination bracket, best of 3 matches. We consider the qualifiers to go up to the semifinals, and at the point of semifinals where only 4 teams remain, we call that the playoffs, and we're going to remake it into a 4-man double elimination bracket that will take place on the 30th. So we'll cast the winners the winners bracket finals, the loser bracket finals, and the grand finals. And check it out. If you check-in is this Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Matches start at 11 a.m. Eastern, same times for playoffs. The stream is going to be Sunday the 30th at 12 p.m. Eastern. So, yeah, give it a look. And in addition to that, if you want to keep posted on all these Rumble events so that you don't have to find out about it from me the last minute on the day before the signups close, check out all our social media listed on our info panels right down there. We have a website, we have a Twitter, we have a Steam group, all this good stuff. We got a Discord. It's as easy as ever to find out about the ongoings of Awesomenauts Rumble. So give that a look. But you guys aren't here to hear me talk about this all day. You guys are here to see some gameplay. Pyro Cheese, what do you say we get into the first draft of the day?
Sounds like a good idea. I'm all about getting into the gameplay, getting some nice scrims to cast, and it looks like we should have a good one coming up right now.
Indeed. Looking at this match, it is on Serona. And your red team going to be Dave W, Ubi, Nikki. Blue team going to be Rado, Etzer, and Cannoli. We're definitely seeing some all-stars here right now. And so with that said, I want to go ahead and remind everybody. You can guess who you think is going to win. And if it's going to be red chat or blue chat. Excuse me, red team or blue team. Guess just who you think is going to win. And if you guess correctly, after the match, you're going to be eligible for a giveaway. So everyone that guesses blue team, if blue team were to win, for example, then we'll pick one person to give some Awesomenauts DLC to. You have until the match begins to get your guesses in. So, Pyro Cheese, why don't you take us through this draft?
So this draft on red team, we're gonna have a Genji, an Ix, and a Coco playing on the same team. And for the blue team, we're gonna have a Vinny, a Deadlift, and a Frog. So I think it's kind of a different approach. You know, obviously this has the same goal, you know, destroy the base and all. But interesting to see that there's actually going to be technically 2 supports on the red team. You know, I feel like you don't very much see that. While on blue team, it's going to be pretty much raw damage, and Deadlift is kind of a support character in that mix. But kind of interesting to see what goes out. There's a lot of opportunities to deny damage on red team from blue team, but on blue team, you know, it can be very easy. I've seen those characters in the queue before, and it can be very easy to be overwhelmed by them just by how mobile they are, especially Vinny on Sirona. It's probably one of his strongest maps, if not his strongest, just because he can fly everywhere, basically. And Frogo, always just highly mobile, a lot of damage to dish out. So it'll be interesting to see how this one shakes out.
Indeed. One of the things that I think right here, you got it, the double dive, as you mentioned, but the kind of initiation game on the red team is strong. You know, you got Monarch Blessing, you got Cocoon, you got Refract, you got swapping around. Like, it's the sort of thing that, like, blue team can pick up some frags if they go in and just slam hard. But in order to pick up those frags, they have to commit. And committing to a Genji team fight can be very scary. And if they don't end up playing off the frags, they're going to be standing there. They're going to be on their cooldowns without any damage to continue dishing out. And, you know, all that lightning ball is going to come out every 5 seconds. You're going to have amazing DPS coming out from the Genji and the Ix. That Cocoon is just going to lock somebody down. And honestly, it could go very poorly for the blue team. I think one of the critical things I know, the Team Brunch, that's the team that's on the blue team, they like to run triple damage on Vinny and Spike. They like to, you know, they have Dead Sea Horses, Bag of Goldfish, and Chrome File. I think that they really, really need to consider silence here, because silencing that Genji and Ix when they go in for a kill, like getting rid of that Monarch Blessing, getting rid of that Refract, that is going to, you know, net result them have the red team less HP than they would if they just went triple damage. So I think that might be one of the critical things to look out for. And blue team does have its own counter initiation factor. They do have the protective pose coming out on Deadlift, and that's something I'm not terribly certain how. If it's not for sure going to be as effective as Monarch Blessing here. Because the thing is that when you have a piercing as opposed to an AOE attack coming out from the red team, then it procs all the numbers separately, so it actually gets through the shield very fast. So for example, if you were to example Splash Dash 3 people that are in a protective pose for 250 damage, that's 250 counted off the 1000 HP of that protective pose. But if you have a Genji auto attack, that its numbers all proc at different times basically, so you end up doing, you know, like at base 140 damage a hit, then all 3 of those 140 damage ticks get counted separately against the health bar of protective pose. And when you consider how the DOT is going to function there, the Ix auto attack, the Genji auto attack, protective pose can melt very fast here. That said, I think we're ready to get into gameplay here. Do you have any other comments on the draft you want to make?
Not particularly. I think it is just like one of the things I agree with you that, red team especially, I think when you go up against a team like that, I think it is important to consider just CC in general. And, you know, there is some coming out from Frog with his stun, potentially slow on dash, things like that. But you're right, I think Vinny getting a silence on dash is going to be vital, if not just important, because you're right, like I said, a lot of chances to deny damage from Monarch Blessing, as well as Ix Refract and swapping from his, it's not gaze, but you know what I'm talking about. So, you know, it'll just be interesting to see this dynamic play out. Just a lot of ability to deny damage coming out from another team that is going to be able to dish out damage.
Indeed. Yeah, I agree. And it's going to be one of the things that it's also going to come down to effective cooldown management in general. It's kind of, I think, the kind of motif that we're seeing here. And I know it's an easy thing to say here. Hey, you know, the guys who use their cooldowns better are going to win. But I think that's going to be the key thing. It's going to be the players that can... You know, I think there's 2 types of cooldown management. It's like, there's no one, oh yeah, he's on cooldown, I'll be off in a few seconds, and then there's actually going in your head. Okay, Monarch Blessing is going to be ready in 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay guys, we need to get out. He's going to have a shield, for example. And I think it's going to be the team who has that better second version of cooldown management that can actually take the lead here. That said, it's time to get into the gameplay. I am at the 12-second mark. Would you like to give us a countdown?
Alright, let's go ahead and get started. That's actually exactly where I happen to be, so good to go. Let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
And we're off on the red team. You have Nikki playing your Coco. You have X being played by Ubi, and you have Dave W playing the Genji. On the blue team, you have Rado playing your Vinny and Spike, Cannoli, the Slammin' Salmon of Legends, playing your Froggy G, and Edster playing the Deadlift. And they're going to be going in, the Protective Post is going to be going out. Nikki already in a bad situation. He's going to get taken out by the lounge right there at the 30-second mark. Just way overextended, not playing the comp. Now Ubi's in a bad situation. That Silence is coming out incredibly fast. I almost about to knock him up, my bad about that. And yeah, that first pick of Silence, blue team did exactly what I was hoping they would do, and I was kind of scared they were going to mess up. They realized that this is where they stop going triple damage on Vinny and get that Silence, and immediately they got that X Silence. Now, the Monarch Blessing, though, he's going to take care of Cannoli, Cocoon, Edster. Edster using the Protective Post to hopefully get himself out, just in the nick of time, a little bit longer, and that Lightning Ball would have come out from Nikki. But yeah, so far, it's looking very nice here in terms of kills. Lots of death happening. Edster gonna get bonded down. He's got the Protective Post, but taking a lot of damage. Rado is not able to find the Spike Dive. That could have potentially been really nasty for the red team. What are some of the kill conditions that we can be looking at here? What does each team need to be looking for most in order to go in, Pyro?
I think really, especially on blue team's part, it is coordinating their damage, because right now, red team actually has a lot of sustain. Genji actually got on Monarch Blessing the Cat Pillar, so it's not going to be doing a whole lot early game, especially only at one stage, but it is a little bit of extra sustain. I mean, none of them have regen, but X has his Bond, as well as that Monarch Blessing. Going to keep them up pretty often. Blue team, they don't really have much sustain. They don't have a support character. There's only double regen coming out of Deadlift. So really, when it comes to that, they can't really be harassing too much. Like I said, there's just a lot of sustain. It's kind of similar to how, if you get a Voltar, a minute of downtime, they're just going to heal up their team. It's not going to be quite as much just because it's early and, they don't have a whole lot of strong healing ability thus far. But it's the same idea where I feel like just doing harassment is not going to be cutting it right there. They do need to coordinate their burst, definitely, and I think we even mentioned that a little bit in the pre-game talk. But interesting to know just kind of the general builds that are coming out right now. Like we're talking about, first item on Vinny is going to be an anti-machine gun to Silence, which is a really good pickup in my opinion. And as we were talking about, just to be able to get in there, especially on a Vinny part, and be able to get out quickly. Also, Mutant Ninja Worms coming out on Frog. Classic pick. Frog is going to go down right there and make it be 2-1 on red team's part. And it's actually going to be 3-1 now. Edster on his own as a Deadlift in the middle. Maybe looking at a tough spot. He's stuck in a Cocoon. Coco missed his ball though, so he might be just fine and going to get out with that lunge across the map. So yeah, overall I think it's pretty even. It was just given up to 3-1, but they don't have a whole lot of push right now, and Edster does have, if anyone can survive a 3v1, it would be Deadlift in the situation, so that would be it. And right now they are back up right now, so there's a little bit of damage on their top turret. Actually, not even at all, never mind. So yeah, so what do you expect to happen from here? Do you expect to see any items come out, anything specific in terms of the kind of team play going on? What do you think is going to happen in the next
well, I think the main team fight thing for the red team is definitely to be getting that Monarch Blessing in at the right times to just nullify the burst of the blue team. So far we see Genji continue to build into that Hill and Blessing. He's getting DOT for a little bit of extra damage, but a little bit more harass on that Frog, and that Vinny especially gets more stuff ticking against that Protective Post. And I think overall you'll see the damage items kind of creep in, but Slammin' Salmon gonna be going down. He's gonna be creeping back onto his base. But I think the Genji is going to be mostly going for sustain and keeping his teammates healthy with like the damage items sprinkled in. I think Ix will kind of be the opposite in terms of support. He's going to be mostly damage items with the support upgrades sprinkled in. Nikki trying to get out of Edster. He's not going to be able to do it. He got a nice lightning ball, but there's only so much Coco can do with her slow movement. Dave W is going to be able to make the assassination though. In the meantime, Rado's going to be spike diving Ubi in mid, and now the Salmon going after Ubi. Not going to be able to find much. He's going to get bonded down. He's going to get swapped, and now Dave W is on the hunt. He tries to find the cocoon. He's not going to find it. He does get the Monarch Blessing lit and active, keeping his team full HP. Despite a Froggy G going in on them. Now they're going to take a spike dive. That's going to take them another half, but Cannoli not following up. I think a dash NATO right then during the silence could have been very devastating, but unfortunately, you know, there wasn't, so that's what it is. He's going to take some lightning ball poke and go ahead and consume his health resources. In the meantime, Nikki going to be going in. He's going to try and find the lightning ball on Rado. That's going to be assassination right off the jump pad. Cannoli going to come in, take out Dave W. Ubi in a very bad spot. He's taking the auto attacks. He needs to get out of this. He's trying to juke. He's got the Wraith Rider. He's got a bunch of jumps. He's going to manage to go all the way down to bottom lane. He's going to manage to swap them and dodge the dash, but ultimately that Ninja Worm going to be taking out Ubi. And now Nikki in a really bad spot. Stayed in way too long. I don't think there's anything he can do here, and Edster's coming in just to make sure, like, you know, you can't have it too much insurance versus Nikki, you know. And now Dave W just now passing shop. He's gonna be doing everything he can to you know, defend this. He's in a 1v3 scenario. He's just taking a lot of damage. Monarch Blasting lets him survive it though, but now he's gonna have to lane rotate in order to stave off the push. I don't know exactly how he can do this safely with the threat of the silence. He's going to drop down once. He's trying to get them bait. He's trying to like be like, yeah, I'm defending this, but not really. It doesn't work. The bottom turret goes down. Pyro, what is the kills are actually in favor of the red team, but they're heavily outclassed in terms of push. What do they need to do differently?
I think one of the things is potentially consider getting, it's not called polymorph, it's called something else on Genji's cocoon, but you know, the ability to cocoon a droid and get a flying droid out of it, just for a little bit of extra push. That can really turn the tides pretty quickly, especially on something like this where, you know, cocoons are coming out pretty consistently, but they're not flying left and right in order to get them on a knot all the time. So, you know, having a little bit of downtime enough to maybe put it onto a droid to get that little bit of extra push, especially like you're saying in a situation where they're a little bit outclassed, it might be beneficial for them. That's what my recommendation for the blue team right now, or yeah, for the red team would be right now, just to be able to compete at this point, really. And it's kind of interesting to note that, really, you were talking about how damage ups are going to be starting to creep in. There's actually a couple coming out from red team right now. There's going to be damage up on Cocoa Ball from that voltage amplifier, as well as a Salt Miner coming out on Refract. Blue team, oh well, as I say that, Deadlift goes ahead and gets some more damage ups, but they are, Deadlift is definitely going for that burst damage with Rodeo Red lenses. Going to be able to break his own shield when he lunges, giving a bit of extra burst damage, which on red team, which is composed of fairly squishy characters, you know, say for Genji's Blessing, it's going to be pretty devastating, especially later in the game. That can come out to be a whole lot of damage, so it'll be interesting to see where that progresses.
Indeed, I definitely agree with what you're saying here. If they get all that damage that they're going for, they might just, you know, ideally they want to silence Genji or Ix and then squash them before the abilities can come out, you know. I think it's too much of an easier said than done sort of thing to go, oh, well, we can bait it. Edster's going to be baiting Dave back to the respawn, taking out Frag there, but he's going to get bonded in the process. Now, Ubi's going to be trying to get out, but the Splash Dash is going to be on point, and directly takes him out right in front of his turret. Now, Nikki in a 1v3 scenario, he's going to go ahead and take control of Ben. He knows that Vinny and Deadlift are rather weak. You see Weekend Cloud coming out on Vinny, and if he gets that, if he gets the Hill on Cloud also, he should be able to outlast the Monarch Blessing, and actually, you know, where Genji would typically make his team like totally healthy and ready to go in while the blue team is not, that might make it a bit more even. So I think with the way everyone's building, the fact that you got Deadlift, Benny, Ix, and Genji, it's very likely that you could see some very drawn-out team fights and a bunch of people that look like they're about to die actually miraculously surviving because of all of the support mechanisms going on. Ed's are just going to go in at 1 HP and immediately get punished for it. But yeah, his team's trying to His team tried to clean up there because they're like, hey, he did get the damage in, but it actually just kind of caused the 2 for nothing in favor of the red team. This is really the sort of break that they needed. We're going to see some big push come out. Rado's in the situation that Dave W was in earlier. He does get a great dive, and he's going to just get completely sandwiched in there. Nothing he can do. And, yeah, he's going to get taken out, and that's going to be another frag and a wipe, actually. More or less for the red team. Edster is now back in position, not really a wipe, and he's going to miss everything, and now he's just in a 1v3 scenario. And the Monarch Blessing, he's being chased down with it. He's just going to stay behind his turret. It's really hard for him to defend. He's going to miss another lounge and just Sneak's going to work on his finesse there. The mechanics are not that airtight at the moment, but it looks like his team's ready to go in. He's got the shield. He's going to miss again, and that is not good. The entirety of red team is Monarch Blessing. They're on the hunt. They need to be careful about that. They can't. Blue team is so damage dependent on their cooldowns. Yeah, I guess Deadlift does have a strong auto attack, but he's rarely going to be in that situation where he can just keep on auto attacking over and over. So he really needs to work on that fine tune right there.
No, yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of the things where blue team definitely has to keep an eye out for cooldowns in general. Not only their own cooldowns to coordinate and be able to apply their damage effectively, but also on red team's part. Like we were talking about, that Monarch Blessing is going to be pretty huge, as well as Cocoon, to deny damage. If they can just wait those out or bait them, you know, they pop Blessing right there. It doesn't really matter because it's 2v3. I don't think the blue team is going to engage very much anyway. But in a 3v3 situation, if they have the ability or see that Monarch Blessing is down, Cocoon is down, then that would be an opportunity to go in, Silence Dash or not, really. Silence Dash maybe the other character so that they can use their skills. But I think in this case, Genji is pretty vital to determining, you know, who really has the advantage in a team fight in this case.
Definitely, I completely agree. And I think that Genji can just stay on point with his auto attacks and his cocoons like that, and just being able to, you know, swap people out. He'll stay alive. Like, look at this, he's getting out 1 bar, and like when you think about the fact that he took out the damage coming out from Edster and got the life steal off of it, that is the reason that he's alive. Genji on paper, like if he is perfect with his abilities, is just about impossible to kill. And as he gets more and more tanky abilities, like he's picking up that spiritual cooking now, it is going to be more and more difficult to take him out. And especially with the level advantage and the snowball, it's starting to creep in favor of the red team. That is not good for the blue team. That's in a really bad position. He's just going to kind of teleport out. It wasn't even so much of a juke because people just kind of forgot about him, entertainingly enough.
Yeah, he wasn't even particularly in bad health. I think it was just more convenient at that point instead of trying to go from behind to do anything. And Genji is actually going to go down right there. You know, like I said, timing those abilities, being able to deal out that burst damage, just enough to actually take him down. Esther going to miss another lunge right there, unfortunately. All of them are pretty low, like pretty much in the range of one's Cocoa Ball taking them out.
Oh, he splash dashed it.
Dash frog, yeah. Dashing frog, so no damage done, and they're just going to part ways from there. Overall, something interesting to note is that levels are actually pretty much exactly even right now, even with red team having an extra turret advantage in that case. But solar-wise, blue team overall is behind, not too much. The top 2 earners are relatively even, second place being roughly 100 solar behind. But the Vinny is actually roughly overall 300 solar behind, maybe 250 or so. And Vinny, you know, not only because of Goldfish on his dash, or backfill Goldfish, I should say. He's pretty solar dependent to be able to get at those damage ups. Speaking of which, though, he is going to start getting just straight damage ups on his dive. Not only dependent on the 150 soul that he would have at his disposal, which would also technically put him another 150 solar behind. So he
that was a really nice turnaround on Nikki Road there. Cannoli was like 1 HP, but he just kind of realized, hey, I got abilities. Like, all right, Edster's got my back. And he just kind of stopped mid-track, just dashed Nikki. Edster came in, he did the lounge, he broke his shield, and Nikki was erased off out of that lane. And, like, he was gone. So that was cooldown management, as I said earlier, and just nice awareness and nice hitting a lounge this time coming out from Edster. But yeah, and they should be able to. They actually can't get that much push. They're actually gonna pick up a double DOT kill. What just happened?
I think they got wormed. I wasn't sure. I'm actually a little bit zoomed out more than the average game, but I still didn't.
Okay, we gotta rewatch this. We gotta rewatch this. I'm sorry.
I'm fairly certain that was a worm kill, but I don't really know what happened. Did Vinny step on it? Because he's the only one alive, but...
Okay,
I don't-
10, 12, 14, 12. Give us a countdown.
Okay, 14, 12. Let me get back there. 14, 12. All right. And then let me just go ahead and zoom out normally so I can actually see what's going on here. So in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, yeah. That was just unfortunate, really. Vinny just went a little bit too far into the button, getting both of his teammates under there. That is really just unfortunate and just like, oh man, it's kind of funny that Genji got credit for both of the skills just for having a little bit of DOT in the last couple of seconds on them. But wow, that is really unfortunate. That's gonna put Vinny especially in a tough spot. You know, when it comes to defending, it's interesting that like I think Vinny would be the best defender because he has blind cloud, so the droids aren't gonna be doing too much, as well as silence sash. So if they get a little bit too close, he'll be able to get damage, especially from the turret on top of his own dash. It's just wow, yeah, that put blue team in a tough spot, but they are going to be back relatively soon. It's going to be a pretty big team fight right here. They're all going to be low. The red team, I should say.
Rado tried to make up for lost time.
Yeah. So I mean, there's that. And even with so many people being so low, there's only going to be a single pickoff from blue team on the X right there. But yeah, that whole situation did turn that dynamic around. It was relatively even, you know, most of the action happening in the middle of the map. But yeah, just that that worm double kill right there, Vinny, right there. So, you know, unfortunate, but it looks like they're coming back from it, gaining recontrol of the map. Their turret didn't take a whole lot of damage either, I don't believe. So, you know, a little bit rough, but it should be okay. And that's another way to time all your abilities right there. Just use them all immediately on the Genji. Even with Monarch Blessing, I don't know if that would have been enough to actually save him immediately anyway.
Right, and that's the sort of thing that they need to do right now, and they need to have that coordinated burst. They've been having trouble finding that synergy at times, but it looks like it's almost as like they're taking it more seriously now that that worm double happened. It's like it kind of was a wake-up call. It's like, hey, I need to stop doing this crap. I need to play Awesomenauts, and now they're actually really on point. But Edster might be going down. He's in 1-8 bar, but the splash dash going to come in, and now Cannoli taking a lot of damage. He takes the full combo from Ix, but manages to get out. Takes up that creep in the process. Nikki going to be backing up. He is pretty low HP, and the entirety of blue team going to go recuperate. All three at base, getting their HP. Red team spending a bunch of time clearing droids right now, and we see more damage coming out from Frog. He's going to be picking up that boombox, and Edster getting tank here. He's got the barrier magazine coming out, and now red team going in. They're gonna go fishing for a cocoon, not gonna find anything, can't really do that much. Nikki blind, can't aim a lightning ball when he's blind, and yeah, just it's gonna kind of footsie not, but both teams are ready to do something as soon as something happens. Like right here, Edster gonna get caught by a cocoon. He's actually taking a lot baiting a lot of abilities. It's not really taking that much damage. He's full health due to that shield and that health pickup. Now he's going in, landing auto attacks. He's gonna take another cocoon. He's gonna get bonded again. He's in a bad situation. He's get bonded into a lightning ball, and now that's gonna be a 1-for-0. Can only try to save him. Wasn't much he can do. The lightning ball gonna come out on Rado, but not gonna be taking him out. And now the red team is setting up the push. The cocoon's gonna get wasted. Nick can get to clean up the bottom lane, while the auto attacks from Dave W and Ubi gonna just be doing some numbers. Can only use the splash dash from droids there, so he cannot follow up on this, and I think he's really gonna regret it. He has the splash dash now, but he gets cocoon right with probably 0.1 on cooldown. Rado still manages to take out Dave W, but he's probably gonna get taken out by Ubi in exchange, and I really think that would have been a 2-for-0 instead of a 1-for-1 if Cannoli had not splash dashed those droids. And now Ubi trying to get out at the yeah, he can't. There's no guy. Okay.
Okay.
I was like, guys, come on.
I would have been a little disappointed, even with you know, lifesteal auto attack. That was his first pickup from Mix, but even with that, should have been down relatively soon. A little bit longer than expected, but still going down nonetheless. One of the things I wanted to point out, kind of interesting pickup on Frago, he did pick up Arbe, which is, now that I think about it, a pretty good pick, but I was kind of surprised to see it come out at all. You know, it's going to be able to reflect Lightning Ball if Nikki lets it, I suppose. Cocoon, I was going to Genji's auto attack, as well as Ix's auto attack. And, you know, denying especially Genji's and Ix's auto attack, which is, you know, their main damage dealers, I would say, is gonna be pretty huge overall. I mean, like it's not gonna. It's a very short duration. It's only about a second long, but still, just to see that and you know being able to stay in the team fight for that much longer really could potentially make the difference, especially when paired with something like Boombox, which he did pick up. going to be getting some extra damage on that and letting me able to potentially get a couple of more frags in there.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I also want to mention one other thing that the RBA reflects. It actually reflects the psionic bond initial shot. So he can reflect that ability of Ix. He doesn't get any of the mechanics of it, but the initial damage gets applied. And so that's actually, that's like 4 out of 6 of the abilities of the red team, plus like 2 of their auto attacks. So yeah, RBA is an incredibly solid pick here, but it's not going to be enough to potentially save him here. He's going to be getting out at 1 bar, or 380 HP if we're to be exact. And Nikki going to be going in, trying to find the lightning ball, and he's going to be going in, taking a lot of damage in return. You know, he can, the lightning ball is not that strong, you know. He does not win that fight. He is out, but has made the blue team in a pretty bad position. If maybe Ubi can do something here. He has gotten the refract damage out. He's not gotten much else out. Needs to watch out for that. He's actually in a really bad position. The spike dive is going to be coming in, and there it is. That has to be... No? Okay, I guess he was...
Wow, I'm surprised, really.
I guess he thought it was maybe just out of range. I could see it just ending up being a pixel out of range. It's still the sort of thing you would have just tried, because you really wouldn't get punished it for that.
Even if it was clearly out of range, just the idea that it might work, that there wasn't really a whole lot of punish opportunity. Even if, you know, I don't know if he was able to see Coco up there, but that was really the only threat, and he was at basically full health. You know, even as a not Vinny player, I would have still gone for it. But Ix is going to go down, or no, sorry, I misread that. Froggo is going to go down to Ix, making it a 3v2 situation, and overall, there's not many droids. Droids are actually pushed all the way to the red turret almost, but they are going to be taking a little bit just because they do have the advantage. You know, again, Genji and Nick Sustain is going to be able to let that happen, even without droids, getting a pretty decent opportunity to actually be doing some damage to the turret. But they are going to be in a rough spot. Dave W there taking a lot of damage from Ix. Vinny kind of maybe searching for a kill right there, but going to back off instead. Etzer now in a rough spot, actually. You know, the turnarounds can happen really quick, either with Ix or Genji, you know. Them landing any of their abilities, a cocoon on them from the lifesteal damage, and also the CC from there, just being able to prepare for them to come out. Etzer almost going to be going down, but that's going to be a double kill on a single lightning ball from Poker right there, taking out both Froggo and Vinny right there. So it's only Deadlift left to defend. So this is really, really interesting right there.
And he actually managed to get that that bond broken there, but oh nah, he wanted to. He was trying to be fancy. That's got to be a good game. There's yeah, this is it.
Yeah, that's got to be right there.
All right, well there's your game. Red team MVP, Rado maybe.
Well, you know, I wouldn't go that far, but that did really change the dynamic and kind of change the definite shift of power that you could see in there. After that worm happened, you know, it was just it did really was a wake up call for blue team, but also gave the red team a good opportunity to kind of, you know, like I said, shift the balance and to give them a little bit better of opportunity overall. Plus a couple of nice plays, you know, getting to being able to land abilities on the blue team. Like we were talking, that's going to be huge. Not only Monarch Blessing, which, you know, AoE, obviously it's not hard to hit that on your teammates, but being able to land Cocoon, being able to land Bond, and being able to do that extra bit of damage. All of those things really did it added up, because, you know, you wouldn't really consider anyone on red team to be particularly big damage. There's potentially Coco. But, you know, a single damage either on a team of 3 isn't really a whole lot. But overall, it was a well-fought match. You know, unfortunately, I would, if I had to do like a post-mortem and say, you know, what was the nail in the coffin, or, you know, what was the point, I actually would point to that double worm right there to say, you know what, unfortunately that changed kind of everything. And, you know, they were able to come back overall from it, but I do think that they gave the red team overall confidence, at least enough to be a little bit more forward with their attempts. So
indeed, I don't know if Rado will ever forgive me, but I think it needs to be made a meme, 100%. Like, if you get Zydecord, that means you got taken out by a super droid that cost the game. Getting Radoed means you got killed by the worm by your own teammate. That's what that officially is now.
Yeah, it's been coined out. It's lore now.
Yeah, it's in the game. It's official. Someone get it on the wiki. One of the other things that I think blue team could have done a little bit better, there were times they did this successfully, where they just all were like, hey, we are 3 super bursty knots, and we have stun, we have silence, let's just go in, immediately right-click someone and get the fuck out. And I felt like they got a bunch of frags, don't get me wrong doing that, but they still didn't do it enough. Like, that was their kill condition, that was their win condition. In every situation where they don't really get that to occur, you know, it's kind of uphill battle, because they're fighting Refract, they're fighting Bond, they're fighting Monarch Blessing, they're fighting a bunch of annoying slow and poke coming out from Coco. But like every time that they just manage to be like, dive, splash dash, lounge this guy this second and leave, it was just totally in their favor. And I think if they managed to, you know, just make that happen all game, it could have gone a lot differently. I think it was one of the kind of the critical things that really kept them in favor. And then they kind of lost all control once Nikki had found that double kill with the lightning ball. That was kind of like the final moment, because they didn't manage to find the fights. They found the frags at their own turret. They found the fights in the mid, and you know, it just wasn't enough. For once they kind of lost control. They had held tight just a little bit longer, it would have gone in their favor. But it is what it is, and there will be other opportunities. And we are going to take a short break, and we will be back with our next match. Hey, we are back, and thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. We have another Scrim to cast. And again, my name is Mr. Pillow, and joining me here is Pyro Cheese.
Hello, I am Pyro Cheese, joining here with Mr. Pillow.
Indeed, indeed. So our next match, also on Serona, and also with Nikki, Dave, W, and Newbie, but this time on the blue team versus Baldy Hunter, Mr. Manager, and Jelly. Guys, guess who you think is going to win in the chat? You can type either the red team or the blue team. If you guess correctly, you will be eligible for a giveaway after the chat. With that said, we are looking at the red team. Body Hunter, Mr. Manager, and Jelly are betting out Ix and Penny. Picking up Deadlift, Leon, and Swiggins. In the blue team, Nikki, Dave, W, Ubi, betting out Jimmy and the Lux, 5000, Kesnia, and picking up a Genji, a Benny, and a Skoldir. How do you feel about these comps?
Overall, I think they're pretty okay. You know, I feel like Genji, Vinny, and Skull is like a little bit more of a classic combo. You know, able to cocoon someone, potentially get a throw off them, and just follow up with some Vinny damage. I think it might be a little bit more unorthodox on the red team. You know, there is going to be that lockdown and that initiation from Swiggins and Leon. But really, when it comes down to it, in a like kind of an overall team fight, I think Deadlift will be a little bit stronger in an overall team fight as opposed to like individual pickoffs. We'll see how things go though. And, you know, there are some overlaps where you're seeing some Vinny, Genji, and Deadlift coming from last match. I mean, it's a different scrim. It's not the same people, but except for the blue team. But it's kind of interesting to see that those are some recurring characters in this situation.
I completely agree with you, and I think it's gonna interesting. I don't think I've actually casted Ubi Skolder before, but I've seen it a bunch of times. Guys, I don't know if y'all know, Ubi Skolder is right there up with Nikki Skolder. It is insane. You might be like, why is Nikki not playing the Skull? You're about to find out. That's all I can say. Like, Ubi is an insane Skolder. That said, I think that's also like a really good counter pick to the Leon and the Swiggins. Skolder's also always kind of been a classic Swiggins counter. Swiggins goes in and anchors, then what? He gets thrown and just kind of for him, you know? And I think Skolder's even get a pretty even matchup versus Deadlift, and the fact that he's got a Genji and that everyone else on the red team kind of has trouble against him, and that there's going to be the Weakened Cloud. Like, there's so much. Like, the red team has to fight through the Weakened Cloud. They have to fight through a potential Silencer. They have to fight through a Cocoon. They have to fight through a Monarch Blessing. Like, I know Ubi likes to make his joke about having a CC boner, but this is it. Like, there's so much the red team has to deal with. Like, their kill condition is kind of like the same as what Team Brunch was last game. They just kind of, you know, they anchor down someone, they tongue someone, they just quickly try and right click someone before and get out before the blue team does their thing. The blue team has one of the best brawling comps I think I've even seen in a while. Oh, so yeah, I have to, not even looking at the players' names, I have to really give this in favor of the blue team. Then again, we do got Body Hunter and Mr. Manager especially, Jelly too, but I mean, Body Hunter and Manager are just like the combat kings. After, you know, they're the sort of people that are just known for just kind of pulling wins out of their butt. They're the sort of people that, even though they keep consistently winning everything, they always get underdogged in these sort of events. So this might be one of those times where they just surprise everybody. You never know.
I'm kind of hopeful for that. I mean, it would definitely make for an interesting game. Nice comeback story always. You know, that's kind of the big moments in those sports movies, right? You're always down. 2 seconds left on the clock. 5 points down. Touchdown. Boom.
Exactly. Alright, with that said, let's go ahead and get into this. I am at the 12-second mark, my friend.
Alright, let's go ahead and get this going in 3, 2, 1, go.
And we are off. On the red team, you have Body Hunter playing your Deadlift. You have a Mr. Manager, that's Dr. Couch, playing your Leon. You have Jelly playing your Swiggins. On the blue side of things, you have Dave W playing the Vinny and Spike. You have Nikki playing the Genji. And you have Ubi playing the Skoldir. Shout out Steve Barancy. Immediately going to quake down. He's going to find a double throw even and get silenced right after. The protective bow is going to be coming out. And the red team going to be in a bad spot, but actually doing a lot more damage. Now Jelly's going to go in. He's going to find Dave W off the lane rotation. Going to anchor down Ubi, who's in a really bad spot. Will probably be going down here. throws the Leon out of the way, but
Oh.
Miet's taken out by Body Hunter right in front of his turret. That was still
That
an
was really,
amazing
really nice
throw.
escape. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you know, like we're talking about, these are some pretty big names as well overall. So already in the first minute, there's going to be 2 kills in favor, I should say, of the red team. So you know, when it comes to brawling, I mean, right now they have the advantage, but it is a pretty early game. Not a whole lot of items coming out. But Scolder just picking up stun. You know, we can't really afford that on the initial drop. I'd also like to point out that Vinny are immediately got Weakening Cloud. So they are definitely going to be focusing a little bit more on the overall team fight, team brawl. Where, like you were saying, even without the Weakening Cloud, I would say that Vinny does, or not Vinny, blue team would have the advantage there overall. That's going to be another kill for red team right there on the Genji, unfortunately. Nikki going down to being a little bit overextended and just being caught out 3v1. So right now, it's looking a little bit dire, actually, for blue team. You know, they're down at 3 kills, you know, down 3 kills worth of solar, down a whole level right now, too. So, you know, it's something needs to a little bit change. They need to be a little bit more coordinated, I would say. Then actually just need to be able to, you know, maybe like here's going to be an opportunity, going to get a throw off. But instead, Deadlift is just going to go into protective pose. Leon going to be really, really low, potentially. No, not going to be going down, actually, unfortunately. So even if that was a double throw right there into a turret, there just wasn't enough damage, unfortunately, to finish.
Hey, I don't know why. It looks like my game just froze.
Oh, do you want me to pause?
Yeah, I think I have to kill it through your task manager.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yep. I'm at the 206 minute mark.
2 minutes 6?
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry about this, guys. Slight technical difficulties.
Alright. So, just retcon all what I said. Don't worry about it. You haven't seen anything yet, so.
Indeed.
Ooh.
I was just closing out Skype because we don't want to use webcams anymore. Give it some more breathing room.
It's fine. I heard Skype noises and I was worried for a second, so it's all good. Alright, so 2 minutes 6?
Yeah, I'm going through the boot phase right now. Sorry, guys. Production quality Craigasm.
Technical difficulties has to happen every one stream, so you know.
Exactly.
This is the one time. Good to go. Get it sorted out.
This is just a way of building hype. You know what I mean?
Yeah, really. It really is, you know, just that tension building at the slow burn.
I wonder what's going to happen at 2 minutes and 7 seconds.
Yeah, it's not like Pyro was talking about it for the next 20 seconds or anything like that. So
No one remembers that.
Nope, that definitely did not happen. I don't know.
Get that
Why'd you even
dude.
bring it up, Pillow? Like, that's really just unprofessional of you.
Yeah, you know, my bad, dude. I'm sorry, guys. Awesomenauts Rumble is permanently canceled on all events. I'm too embarrassed.
Yeah, it's just
It's done.
That's really
It's
the only
over.
way to go out. It's that's really the only option at this point, honestly.
Okay, 2 minutes 6 seconds. Just bringing up all the stats. Okay, you want to give us a countdown?
All right, 2 minutes and 6.
Yes,
3,
sir.
2, 1, go.
All right.
So,
you take it.
not that anyone has heard it or anything like that, but Leon is actually just barely going to be able to get out of that with his life. Very, very low on that. So, you know, that's really cutting it close there. The only thing I mentioned was it was kind of surprising. Genji was able to get a cocoon right in front of the turret that let Scolder get a free quake and throw right into the turret, which turned into a double throw because Swiggins was a little bit too close. Unfortunately, though, with Deadlift's protected pose, they weren't able to do enough damage to actually take anyone out right now. I mean, it is pretty early. There are no real damage ups to say for Genji's auto attack, but, you know, Genji's auto attack on a single target is, you know, it's damage. I'm not going to deny that, but, you know, it's not really... If you're relying on Genji's auto attack to do all the damage, something's gone wrong in my opinion.
It's one of those things that's going to be interesting to see out. If you can keep the kite game up. I think it's not supposed to be the primary damage dealer here. I think he's trying to do as much pressure as he can to create space for Leon Swiggins to just go and frag people. And the stronger his auto attack is, the more numbers he's putting on the board, the more annoying he is and the more room he's making. There's going to be a big whiff throw there, but still going to take out Jelly. Way caught out of position. Body Hunter is in pretty good. I was about to say bad scenario. He's in a great scenario. Going to be taking out Newbie. Underdogging as usual, though. And now they're going to be taking mid. Body Hunter and Manager might go after Nikki, but Nikki knows what they're trying to do. He's just got that range spoken. There it is, though. There's all the damage. And if he can find it, the Monarch Blessing, leaving him at 93 HP, taking all the damage out from Body Hunter. And that's just unfortunate. That's where the utility rush can really, you know, be detrimental, because if you look up what they got right now, they do have one stage of power lunge damage, but besides that, they got silence, they got regen, and all that stuff. And so, you know, just leaving the Genji at 93 HP when he really doesn't have any of his Genji survive everything, survive the apocalypse upgrades yet. You know, they gotta make sure they get enough damage going on. There's gonna be the Monarch Blessing, there's gonna be an anchor, there's gonna be the protective pose, it's gonna be taken down, and then there's gonna be another whiff throw. There's the Quake though. He should be able to find Lounge, he's not gonna risk it. Jelly gonna go in, miss the anchor dive, gets caught in a cocoon. Ubi is just dealing a lot of damage. There's the Monarch Blessing, they're not really gonna fight under it. Dave W is the one who didn't get hit by the Blessing, but it's probably the most extended right now. And his team's going to catch up to him. They're going to keep a hold of mid, keep the pressure going, and they're going to see what they can get cooking here. There's going to be another Quake poke right there, and Body Hunter gets thrown, and the Monarch Blessing keeps him from really retaliating, but now he's got protected pose up. He's going to get some nice damage out on Vinny. Vinny going to be able to successfully get out here, and it's going to clear out the joints on the bottom. The red team going to back up also. They're going to keep in control of mid. It's definitely a very kind of strongly in favor of red team right now. You know, they're more coordinated on their abilities. They're managing the blue team's cooldowns and actually knowing, like, hey, we can take this. If we get hit by this, that's fine. And knowing those situations instead of making it a game of just, like, trying, you know, juke them like crazy and hit some crazy sick abilities. You know, they're really playing out the comps really well right now. What does the blue team need to do differently to counteract the playstyle of the red team at the moment?
I think right now, the thing that blue team is really dependent on is actually cocoons from Genji to actually set things up, both for Skoldier and Vinny. You know, getting a nice dash in there followed up with a weakening cloud off a cocoon can do a lot of damage, as well as Skoldier, you know, just doing a simple Quake and throw combo is going to be doing a lot. But that's not necessary. Just in a normal team fight, they're going to be able to dish out enough damage to actually take out Deadlift. But I guess the point that I was saying is, you know, it's not necessarily a bad thing that, you know, I feel like this comp is a little bit dependent on the Genji Cocoon. But that does mean that they're dependent on the Genji Cocoon. Those cocoons need to land, and frankly, I've been seeing a lot of whiff cocoons for better or for worse. So, you know, there's been a lot coming out as well. But, you know, I think that if they do want to turn this around, that's what I would say. Focus a little bit more on actually landing cocoons. Even if nothing comes of the cocoons, just the idea, you know, a little bit of the mind games also, just the idea that, you know, he's landing cocoons and that there's the potential for something to come out. Maybe that's enough to actually make them burn an ability. Maybe that's going to be an opportunity for them to go in. Speaking about going in, though, there's going to be a throw and Quake right there. Vinny going to be able to actually take out... Wow, almost getting taken out by... Oh, it's going to be a nice throw right there. Just in the tier, just to finish Swiggins off.
So that was nice and crispy.
Yeah, this is perfectly timed out. So basically free 2 kills right there on red team from the blue team. And speaking of damage, we are going to see chroma files coming out for Vinny. So straight dash damage. Again, going to be a nice opportunity on the cocoons. Although we have seen that they are not dependent on that. The game did start out 3-0 in terms of kills in favor of the red team, but is now even up 4-4. So, you know, miracles do come true.
Indeed. And the catch-up game is coming strong. The Monarch Blessings are getting a bit more on point. They're kind of staying more and more cautious of the blue team now. One of the game changers, how much of this Snare Quake gonna make a change? Because that's one upgrade. But you know, it effectively can lock down the red team and mess up their momentum. I think the momentum shift is when they're trying to, you know, move around the blue team and, you know, keep their positioning tight. That momentum cut from the snare, I think, is like such a big critical thing that they're really gonna be forced to play around that a lot more and be more cautious and be more cognizant of the fact that that's gonna come out. Not in that situation where it misses. but still something very worried about. And Body Hunter's going to use that lounge to just get out of there rather safely. And now Jelly's in a really bad spot, though. He's going to get queued and then just takes the entirety of blue team into his face. And that's going to be another frag in favor of them, bringing up 5-4 and finally really shifting these things. Dave W going to get taken out. He tries to flip above Leon, cannot do it fast enough, and now he is dead. It's a 1-for-1. Modern Blessing into something, and Nikki and Newbie. So no one's really going to be going on them. There's going to be a nice punch and throw combo there. That's how Scolder counters Leon right there. Leon trying to do Leon things, just immediately takes a combo of damage right into his face and taken out of position. And Deadlift going to be keeping the lanes clear. There's going to be a whiff tongue coming out there. And they're going to get the Warren Farm, which is really crucial, I think, for denying both Scolder and Nikki. I think the longer this match goes on, and it's easy to say this about Genji comps, but the more in favor it is of blue team. But think about like the late game monsters that they are. When you think about the fact that you got Genji, Scolder, and Vinny, when they reach their late game, they're going to be doing an incredible amount of damage, have an incredible amount of CC, an incredible amount of defensive options and sustain. And it's just like, they're going to have the trifecta, they're going to be incredibly hard to kill, they're going to be incredibly hard to move against, and they're going to just be able to just give people one cocoon, one kill, as simple as that. So it's really, I think that just every passing second is just like a death clock. I would be trying to push as hard as I can right now if I were the red team, but despite the fact that they picked up 5 kills, they barely touched the blue team turrets, and it's just not in favor of them now when they're in that sort of paradigm.
Yeah, there isn't really a whole lot of push coming from either team, really. You know, overall, I would say that, you know, map control and kind of overall brawling is going to be in favor of the blue team. But even with that, there's only, you know, 10 minutes in, there's maybe a fifth of the total health bars off of each turret on top. So, you know, not a whole lot of push going on. But, you know, if they keep getting kills like this and keep getting fed, they are ahead. Overall, maybe each individual player is ahead about 100, 150 solar or so. And that can make a difference. That's one upgrade, you know, that can make a difference. You were mentioning earlier about Snare Quake on Scolder and how important that would be, how that would come into play. And you're right, just with that slight momentum shift, but I actually think it might be more in the case of maybe taking a little bit more opportunity of cocoons overall, just because, you know, it's incredibly easy to just get a follow-up Snare Quake right there. Hold them in place a little bit longer, maybe to be able to get a couple of punches off. Snare them right there before you actually throw them, just so you can get a little bit more damage and actually a little bit more control beyond what you have. And like you were mentioning, getting into the late game, Scolder, you know, we're talking about how Ubi has that CC boner. I mean, Scolder's gonna do that for him. Late game Scolder has a ton of CC. I personally play Scolder myself, and I find it pretty hard for me to actually get damage any earlier than, I don't know, maybe the 15-minute mark or so, just because it, you know, Scolder has a ridiculous amount of CC, and that's where really all this damage comes from. Even if it's not raw damage, it is just the ability to apply damage, which is what CC does, really. It does the ability to apply damage, even if it's not a whole lot of damage. If you can apply it consistently and faster than the other person can apply it, then you're golden, basically. So late game, like you were mentioning, I do believe that it's going to be in favor of the blue team as well. However, though, they did both Piggy, Genji, and Vinny, so not necessarily bad. Pigging on Genji is just fine, in my opinion, because
in the meantime, it looks like Jelly, he gets taken out there. You know, that was the one guy get cocooned and the other guy get thrown just out of position and collapsed on. That was like the sort of thing that's not good. Body Hunter trying to retaliate. He can't find the frag on Ubi. That's spiritual cooking 101, guys. That was spiritual cooking in a nutshell. That's unfortunate. And yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying. I definitely see it, you know, and I think Ubi sees it. You know, the only damage he's got, if it counts, is oily, which, I mean, it's a DPS upgrade, and it's also, you know, more of a stun lock option. But the heal and the pills coming out, synergizing with the Monarch Blessing and the spiritual cooking, you know, the Weakened Cloud and the Silence is now out on the Vinny. It's just gonna become harder and harder and harder for the red team to do their job. And Jolly going to be caught out of position once again. He kind of sticks around too long trying to be aggressive, but then just kind of gets collapsed on. There's the Quake, and there's the punch coming out on Body Hunter. That's actually 2 for nothing, and that leaves Mr. Manager in a really bad position, because it's incredibly hard for him to defend a turret in this 1v3 scenario. You know, what's Leon to do? Not even considering the fact that you know, throw is a thing, yeah, he gives up. Like, what does he do here? You know, nothing.
Yeah, there really is an option. And that really is unfortunate, just because, you know, blue team actually got those kills basically for free, and no one had to go back. They were almost at full health. Even if they weren't, they do have their own forms of regen, either naturally or otherwise. But, you know, that's just unfortunate. Both turrets going down from a single double kill. Those are the kinds of things that will happen in this kind of game, though. Just a turnaround quickly. And overall, blue team is starting to be in a very, very dominant position. I pointed out earlier how solo levels were relatively even. The leader for each individual team right now, Genji on the blue team is the leader in terms of solar. They're about 300 solar ahead of the red team leader. That's not even to mention the bottom earners. Unfortunately, Swiggins on the red team going to be behind 500 solar, the lower receiver of blue team, which is going to be the Scolder. So overall, things are looking a little bit dire, and they need to be a little bit more coordinated overall. In order to be both defending their teammates. There's going to be another team fight coming out right here. Everyone going to be going out, except Body Hunter going to be left down there all on his own. Except for Swiggins, who came back in just to check out to see if Body Hunter was okay, and unfortunately paid the price for that. So again, Leon on defense alone against a Scolder, Genji, and Vinny. You know, what are you supposed to do here? Even as someone who doesn't play Leon here, I know that your options are limited. That's really all you can do. Hope to distract maybe one of them, but at the same time, there's, you know, about 20 droids, you know, roughly give or take 30. So you're just going to be pushing, that's an exaggeration, obviously, but they're going to be pushing into the base already. So, and there's a lot of droids right there, like probably more than in what's worth in 2 ways right there. But, you know, it's looking pretty dire. Already, base are down basically half its HP. And another team fight is going to be coming out here. Demonic Blessing going to be going up, nullifying some of the damage. Scolder going to be able to pick up the kill on both kills right there. And Leon, yeah, that's
oh my
a wipe right
god,
there.
that was a triple.
That was a triple kill on Ubi right there, on Ubi Scolder, and that's going to be game right there, unfortunately. So, well, maybe not unfortunately. It was a good game. Good game. Good to see how things turned out. But yeah, towards the end, though, definitely a pretty dominant performance on the blue team. From the blue team, I should say.
Yeah, this was an outdrive without any question. Like, there was some moments where they got outplayed, especially as Swiggin seemed like he got caught out a bunch. But there was also like, just you can't let them have Genji Vinny. That's like such an auto lose already. And then like, did you top that off with the fact that, you know, you had Scolder countering like just about everybody on the red team? Then that was just. Like, you know, the Vinny, excuse me, the Scolder didn't even buy damage, as you mentioned. Like, I think his last upgrade there in that was height on Quake or something. Like, it was just completely savage the way all of that played out. And honestly, you know, there's just a bunch of better options they could have picked. Like, I think Red Team's mentality when they picked Leon here was like, oh, hey, there's a Genji, you know, there's a Vinny, Leon's good against that, and they were kind of looking at each character in like 1v1s and not really thinking about how the whole team comp played out. They weren't thinking about how, like, the different odds did in different scenarios, like the pushing or defense, because you saw like how earlier Leon, he was full health, but just absolutely could not even try to defend, or else he was dead because of the throw and just the entirety of the blue team, you know, being able to get a little bit of damage through the turrets. And that cost them 2 turrets right there, because while most knots could have maybe kept one turret healthy and the other like 1 bar or something, he had to give up both completely.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's really how it comes out when considering I mean, this isn't competitive, but this is a scrim, you know, taking it a little bit more seriously, considering team dynamics, things like that. So it is a little bit unfortunate that that's the case overall. That if I had to say, you know, I would agree that Leon wasn't maybe the best pick for this. He was really the only source of CC other than, you know, what stun that Swiggins could offer with his anchor, but he did have silence, but unfortunately that's not going to be enough. That's only about, you know, a second or so of silence. That's not going to be enough to sustain him through the team fight, and he does have to make sure he hits the right target with that silence as well as a single target thing, and silencing a single one of them would have been good, but, you know, singling only a 1 of them out of 3, it's still going to be pretty difficult to do anything as a Leon against that.
Yeah, definitely. It was just one team kind of played an assassination comp, and the other team, you know, had the team fight comp, and it was kind of like the same situation, same song as last game, except they didn't really even have that much in terms of AoE, or the AoE that they did have was like small hitbox enough that it was that the blue team had enough CC that they could just kind of space away from each other and keep the CC to make sure that everyone's still able to get their damage in. So yeah, you know, it's just the sort of lesson learned, I guess, on the drafts. Definitely was not in favorable. Who do you think the red team should have picked instead?
Red team, instead of Leon, I mean, let's see, who do they have as options? So, I guess in theory, instead of Leon, I would have actually gone with like a support character of any kind. Maybe Ix would have been a good choice there. Just to be able to get a swap. Like, if they were going to go with the assassination attempt, that sounds really weird out of comp. If they were going to go with the assassination comp, maybe Ix would have been a good choice right there, just because it's going to be a better initiation than Leon. There was a potential to be stun locked from Scolder there, but Ix does still have some escape capability, you know, being able to effectively fly, let's be honest, and on Serona is a huge boon to that. As well as, you know, being able to defend a little bit better, even with what little range his auto attack gets. When it comes down to, you know, all things held constant except for that double kill that left Leon alone. If Ix was alone, he could have probably defended at least one turret, and just having one of those front turrets on Serona does deny pretty much the same amount of space that both turrets do. Honestly, it's really hard for the other team to go in just based on having one turret down. That's what my pick would be. Oh, I see Ix was banned. Now that I look at the draft, so fuck me, I guess. But, you know.
Well, it is what it is. Anyways, guys, thanks for coming out and checking out the Scrim Show. We will be back next week at same time, 12 p.m. Eastern. This is a weekly series. Don't forget, once again, to sign up for the Gathers tournament. That is, the signups due in tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's, what is 8 p.m. Eastern? That's 1 a.m. UK, 2 p.m. Europe, and 5 p.m. Pacific time. So make sure you check that out. It's going to be totally cool. And yeah, you guys have a great evening.